Hello, this is Andy Graham. I'm in Guatemala trying to teach you how to learn Spanish an easy way. When you're learning Spanish, this is a Spanish dictionary. I'm going to show you how to have a Spanish dictionary with you all the time. You can do this in other languages too. But when you're actually in a country, or you're around Spanish people, or you're in immersion, it's different than learning in university or high school or whatever. There's a great benefit because everybody around you speaks Spanish. 100% immersion guarantees you'll stop speaking in English. But what you don't realize is you always have a dictionary with you. I'm teaching a girl here that speaks Tutahil how to learn English. So I started out yesterday with lesson 1, and I taught her how to say, how do you call this in English? But I want you to learn how to do it in Spanish. This is your dictionary, guys. It's pretty simple. That's a volcano in the background. Okay. Finger, and I taught, there's like 3 or 4 words. Como se dice en español, or como se llama en español. So I can point at this, and I go, como se dice en español, or how do you say this in Spanish, or como se llama. I point at it, and they could say pluma. They could point at this and say, como se llama, and you have to say, how do you call it, or how do you say it, or what is it, right? So there's different ways, and everybody's not as intuitively, right? So I say, como se dice. Now what they'll often do is they'll tell me in English, okay? So I really, it's like they're teaching me English. So I say, como se dice en español. So in South America you have to say castellano or something. It changes from country to country, but once you figure out the system, you say, I can also do this in English, right? I could say, how do you call this? And then I could tell her in English. Now what do? I mean, I have many things. I can point at this. Como se dice? Botella. Now this is a little more complicated, but I could point at the mountain. Como se dice en español? Or como se llama este en español? And that's, how do you call this in Spanish? I'm saying, how do you say this in Spanish? But I'm saying it in Spanish, right? I could say, how do you say it in English? How do you say it in French? How do you say it? But I have to use the language of the country. So the first things I'm teaching this girl is the phrase, how do you call it in English? Or what is the name of this in English? We have different colloquialisms, right? So I point at the mountain and I say, como se dice en español? And possibly they'll say, they might even say the wrong thing, like San Pedro Volcano. I think the name of this is, it's a volcano. It's a volcano. Okay. I'm on Lake Atalan, in one of the most beautiful lakes on the planet, but I'm trying to teach you how to have a dictionary with you. Now, take it one step further. Just because they tell you the word, I take out a piece of paper, I write down the word, I often hand it to them and hope that they can spell. Not everybody can read and write, right? Get them to do it. You know, you got to get somebody that can. When you're doing this, you got to pick out somebody that can is a little more educated and actually can write in Spanish. I get them to write it down. I go home, I write it out 20 times, and I own that word. Okay, that's how to have a dictionary with you anywhere on the planet. Andy, I have this on a website on how to learn a language. Thank you, Andy Graham.